Celtic as a team were fantastic to a man. But opening a can of worms, right? I think if everyone in that Celtic team is playing to their maximum, I think Reo Hatate is the best player. Let's see last night. I thought he was incredible last night. Everything about his game, just first class in every department. That's not taken away from McGregor, who was brilliant. I mean, even trusty Carter Vickers.
Scales when he came on.
Scales when he came on as well, I know. Do you know who caught my eye, which will not get brought up by anyone? But see Yang when he came on.
He looked better than he has done, yeah. And obviously he must be doing something right because he get picked in front of James Forrest to come on, yeah.
Aye, so there was so many players, but that was one of those games last night. Hatate, the no-look pass, just everything he did was just absolutely brilliant.
And he nearly split them open on a few occasions with 30, 40, 50 yard passes, yeah. It was terrific.
See Hatate though, Daniel, I agree with you, he was absolutely brilliant, but I think that's the performance for Hatate that Brendan Rodgers has always known was in him. But I think Brendan Rodgers would tell you that it hasn't come out enough. I think he's a player that's frustrated Rodgers a bit since he's come back in. And if you remember right, I think when Brendan Rodgers initially came back, I think Hatate was
dropped.
Aye. Well, Scott, we were saying last night that a lot of us thought Bernardo would start ahead of him.
Yeah. I think he frustrates him at times because he does give the ball away at times. He tries those passes, that are great when they come off, but when they don't and they leave you in trouble going the other way. And I think Rodgers just wants him to be a bit more secure in possession. And also, I think when the manager came in, Hatate wasn't working hard enough, and his work rate last night was incredible, and that kind of underpinned his performance. He was absolutely brilliant.
Let me run through some of the comments that we've had sent in, guys.
Before you do that?
Aye, of course, aye.
What are you drinking? What is that?
We had a production chat about this beforehand, because it
looks like a sample.
It looks like a sample you take to it's Mountain Dew.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought I'd take it out of the bottle, but it looks like I thought I'd get away with it being like diluting juice.
Can you do that? You've just done a branding thing there as well.
It's true. Other fizzy drinks are available.
As if the green polo night wasn't bad enough, he's now got a green drink.
Right, this is becoming an HR matter. Right. Listen, I'll say to both of you, right? Revenge at this best served cold, don't you worry, right?
Unlike your sample there, which is room temperature, clearly.
Listen, don't you worry, I've got something planned, don't you worry.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Jack Jones, as much as I love watching Ange's team, there was no real progress in Europe. Brendan has improved us from last season. Luckily for him, he's adopted a good chunk of Ange's squad. But Ange had a total rebuild in his hands and brought in some terrific footballers. So it's been a 4 or 5 season project that's starting to come good. I'm watching live, Stephen Curry on Facebook. Celtic will not be the whipping boys. We're breeding confidence every game. This one from Andy McLaren. Any chance Celtic can get top 8? We'll come back to that in a little minute. And Robbie here, good to see you. This is way too long, Robbie. I can't get through all that. But he's saying good on the Daily Record for cheering on Scottish football. Celtic need to watch. They don't settle for qualifying for a playoff place because they have everything going for them to bypass that and go for the top 8 spot. So, where do you guys stand on the top 8 spot? Do you think
it's become realistic after last night? No doubt.
Going back, I know we like our stats chats.
Blinding me with the boffin sign.
Scott, you're a more modern man.
Yeah.
You'll buy into this. If Celtic get to 10 points, they're 99% guaranteed a playoff spot, right? If they get to 16,
allegedly,
if they get to 16 points, according to Opta, they're 95% guaranteed a top 8 spot. So they're on 7 points now. If they beat Young Boys and Bruges at home, they'd need another win from Zagreb and Villa away, which obviously is 2 tough games. At 16 points, you're more or less guaranteed a top 8 spot.
More or less guaranteed.
95%.
Well, do you know what? Let's just wait and see.
Aye, we're getting a bit greedy now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, I would say to finish on Celtic, if we're going to finish...
It gives you a 99.78% chance of winning the Champions League.
There's a 100% chance you two are going to get weapons, by the way, with this polo neck nonsense. I'm going to get you back wearing the polo neck, looking class. Anyway...
That came out of nowhere, Daniel.
Anyway, what was I saying? Celtic. I think
University challenged here.
Is this live? Is this really went out? Right? I think that was the best Celtic performance and victory. There's only one actually one game since Barcelona in 2012 that I can think might rival it, Lazio away.
It was a very good night for Celtic, that one.
But aside from that, I can't really think of
That
another.
was up there. I've written a piece today. It's online just now. It's in tomorrow's paper. And I've mentioned that, since the turn of the century, in recent times, there have been some great European campaigns. There have been some brilliant moments within those campaigns. I'm talking about Martin O'Neill's Celtic, Gordon Strachan in the Seven Dwarfs Celtic, Neil Lennon in Barcelona. Then you had Walter Smith and the incredible run that he went on to Manchester, which, by the way, is a case study in top level football management, considering what he had at his disposal and what he was able to get out of that team. Incredible stuff with some monumental performances within it. Yep. The UEFA Europa League Thursday nights at Ibrox became this phenomenon under Van Bronckhorst when Rangers got to Seville. So there have been some outstanding achievements, but taken in isolation, that 90 minutes last night was as good as anything that I can remember from any points of these games. And I've followed that Celtic side all the way to Seville. I was just about every tie. That the stand, and there's recency bias, right? I accept that because 24 hours ago. But I was struggling to remember. As I was watching the game last night, I was actually struggling to remember as an impressive single European performance from any of the Scottish sides since the turn of the century. That